Hello Live Wires! Today's video was inspired by Anna in the Wire Makers Club. She won one of the prizes in the 10-day wire charm bracelet making challenge, and it was a surprise prize. So I asked her what sort of things she would like to make out of wire, and she said she wanted to make a sun catcher with a turtle. So I made her a sample, and I'm going to send Anna the materials so she can make this sun catcher and also the template. I'm using the Artistic Wire Really Big Jig, and you'll need your pegs. I'm using 16 gauge wire, 20 gauge wire, and you'll need your tools. And I have the template linked up in the description below. So we are going to start by setting up the template on the jig, and we line up the holes and we put the little pegs into the little points indicated on the template. If you need to wiggle around a nail to find the hole, you can do that as well. And if you don't have the jig, you can make this freehand by tracing the template. So once we have all of our pegs in there, we're just going to make sure we have every single one. We're going to go around and wiggle them in there until we have it all set up. So now I'm getting the 16 gauge wire and I'm keeping it on the roll. I'm just going to work from one end, and I'm just going to go around the pegs to form the shape of the turtle. Now you can go around loosely, you don't have to pull it super tight. We just want it to follow the forms. It's okay if the wire gets a little bit kinked or a little bit wavy. It makes it look a little more artistic. And we're just going to work our way around the template, following the lines that are indicated. This wire is quite soft. This is actually aluminum wire. You can use copper wire if you prefer, and the 16 gauge is a good size for the sun catcher. So I've started at the top, at the head, and I'm just going to work my way around the whole body. We're starting with the outline of the turtle, and we're going to do the shape on the shell with the same wire. You can also do beads or another design inside this shell if you prefer. So we're going to work our way around, working our way up, back to the top, and curving the wire around. So now we're going to go around where the eye is. I decided to add another little peg in there. Just sometimes I do a little few tweaks as I go. And then we're going to bring the wire up and around the eye. You can just go loosely around the eye so it's a little larger than the actual peg. And we're going to bring the wire around the other eye, and I'm going to add the pegs in there to get the same shape as on the other side. So we're going to bring it around to the other side there. So now I'm bringing the wire straight down, and I want to start forming sort of a flower formation. Like I said, if you'd prefer to do a different style on the shell, you can. I'm actually adding crow beads onto my pegs so the shape is a little wider, a little more curved out. You can also use the end of a pen if you want, anything that's hollow that can fit on the peg to make it slightly larger. And I just had a few beads, so I'm pulling them from the first pegs and moving them along to the other place. So now once we have all of those shapes done, I'm getting my ring cone. This is how I like to make my spirals. So I'm just spiraling up the end in the middle there, and then I'm going to clip it flush. So this is our shape. This is what we need to start with, and we are going to remove it from the jig. Just wiggle it around to remove it. You could remove a couple pegs if it's easier, and then do any little adjustments that you need to make it the right shape that you want. This is very soft wire, so keep in mind it can get a little distorted, but it's fine for a sun catcher because it won't really have a lot of wear and tear. So just keep wiggling it around till it's the right shape, and you'll have an end there that you want to wrap around the neck. That's going to secure it in place. So just take that wire and wrap it all the way around to hold it together and clip it flush. Remove that end. And what we're going to do now is get a little piece of 20 gauge wire and wrap it around the bottom of that, what looks like a flower, just to hold that little bottom petal in place around where the tail is. So we're just centering the flower on the shell of the turtle and then clip the little ends flush. And now we're going to adjust the position of the flower a little bit so it's centered. Clip the end of the wire flush and turn it around with a round plier, the small round pliers, and then push down the spiral. I'll link up another tutorial for the wire spirals in the description below. This is my preferred way of making spirals on a cone. So now do your little adjustments as you need. Just push that little edge of the wire over to match the shape of the petal, and then get another 20 gauge piece of wire to secure the top petal in place. And that way it'll stay centered and it'll be nice and solid. So we're just going to make sure it's wound through a few times to hold it in place. Bring that 20 gauge wire around and give it a little tug. Now clip those ends with the flush cutters so they're not pokey. Just clip them right off. And then do any other little adjustments you need. You can get your pliers if you have to adjust it a little more. Center that flower. Adjust the petals if you need. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of adjustment at the end to get it to look just right. Just press it with your thumb and your fingers. And then I've got the flat pliers to pinch in those ends. And you can adjust the eyes as well. Spread them out a little bit. And there you have your turtle. So after we finish the turtle, we're going to get a 10 to 12 inch piece of 20 gauge wire. And I want to form a little loop on one end, and we will attach it to the turtle. And then we're going to hold that loop with the flat pliers and twist the little end around. And we'll want to clip off that end, clip it flush, and then we're going to add our beads. I have a variety of beads. Sizes range from seed beads to 6mm faceted beads to even 8mm beads. I have a fancy glass bead as well. Any beads you like. I just went with the green tones just to keep it all consistent, but you can put any beads you like. And then after that, we'll get our round pliers. I'm just going to do a little loop so the beads don't come off. It's just going to secure them in place, just a tiny little loop with our round pliers, and then get our larger round pliers to form a hook. So once we've got the hook part, I like to put the end into a little loop as well, just so it's not scratchy. Cut it flush and pinch in that end so it won't be sharp. And there you have the little hook, and just straighten out the wire a little bit. And there's our sun catcher with the turtle. Thanks so much for watching the video. Thank you so much to Anna for inspiring this design for the turtle sun catcher. I'll link up the templates in the description below the video, and we will see you the next time.